please. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sumner County Library Personnel Committee meeting. My name is Jim Holcomb. I have the pleasure of serving as the chair. And we call this meeting to order here a little after 4 o'clock on Wednesday, November 6th, 2024. Welcome everybody who's in attendance in the gallery. And Amy, it's good to see you. Fantastic. We'll start with roll call.
Joanna Daniels.
Erica Grammer.
Jackie Wilbur.
Kaylee Wilson.
Perfect. And again, Jim Holcomb. Fantastic. I'd like to now ask Erica to lead our invocation.
Lord, we want to thank you so much for today, and thank you for this time that we do get to just serve you and serve the people. And Lord, I pray that you will guide our words and guide our hearts even, and let us have a very good and thorough evaluation with Amy, and we thank you for today. Amen.
Amen. Great. Thank you. Next up is the approval of the agenda. Everybody was given a copy of that. Yes, ma'am?
I would like to actually amend the agenda to the new business to schedule the evaluation for Lauren as B under new business.
Okay.
Motion to accept the agenda as amended.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Ms. Jackie Wilbur seconds. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Fantastic. All right, and that takes us to public recognition. Gang, we've got 3 people here to speak. Each will be given 3 minutes, if that's cool. For the sake of time, I think... yeah, we'll let you know when that's up. So we'll call you forward. Please come up here, state your name and residence, and you'll have 3 minutes. Say anything you like about anything that's on our agenda. Perfect. Great. So with that, Megan Sanderson is up first.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
I am Megan Sanderson in Goodlettsville, Tennessee. I did write my full address on the paper.
Gotcha.
That's cool. I have 2 library cards in Sumner County. I know I've said that a couple of times. I worked at Portland for a number of years, and when I left to have my baby, I thought that I'd bring her up to Portland because they're family, but it ended up being Millersville that we spend most of our time at. Millersville is definitely our home. For me, my daughter, and my husband. My husband's not a huge reader. He's not a library goer, but I can tell him that I want to go to the Millersville Library on a Tuesday night, and he's game. That's where they have their dad or dotty dates on Saturday mornings. So I just wanted to let you know like how important the library and Amy is to our family. I know you have some kids. Definitely visit Millersville since she has taken over. They have some beautiful, beautiful spaces in the children's area. I really like this library because not all libraries you can just kind of exist. You kind of get the books and go. But she's really created a beautiful area in the kids area where you can just sit and it's cozy and you can exist. I really like how since she's become manager, she's made a lot of community connections. She's worked with the police department, fire department. I know she has commissioners on the Friends of the Library, which I'm a member of. I don't go to all the meetings because of nap times. But she has some local business owners on the Friends group as well. So I think that's really awesome. Millersville, I would say, is a food desert. They lost their grocery store. I don't know how long ago. There is no food there, and I know Amy's kind of made it one of her missions, even as a librarian, not just to be about the books, but to do a lot with food. They have a blessings box there right now. I can tell that she's talked to the patrons that use the blessings box because I asked her, I'm like, what can I put in this box? And she knew, very specifically. So she talks to the commissioners, she talks to the people that use the blessings box. She's worked with schools as well, not just on literacy initiatives, but food initiatives as well.
30 seconds.
Okay, and I guess the last thing is they've outgrown their space too. I don't know if you guys have gone to any of the summer reading programs. My little one doesn't like big crowds, so we haven't gone to all of them. But Millersville is a very tiny building, and for a while I thought that was kind of just an inappropriate space for Millersville, but they've had to expand to the community center just because she's bringing in so many families from the community, and she has so many great programs, and I love the books she buys. The end.
Thanks. Thank you, Megan. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next, Dustin Durnall.
Hey, I'm Dustin Darnell. I'm a Millersville resident, and this will be one of the few times anybody sees me read from a script, but there were some things I did not want to leave out, so I typed it up. I'm a father of a 7th grade White House Middle School daughter, and the father of a 9th grader at White House High School. I'm a husband of a wife that has a doctorate of education. Our family loves the Millersville Library. When my children were younger, they participated in several of the programs at the library. My children became addicted to the summer reading program that's put on there each year. This helped them prevent the learning loss through the summer to help them be prepared for the next year. Millersville Library is always clean. Their children's program around the year is awesome. While my children have become a little bit too old for some of the programs, neighbors that my children are friends with are younger and use them regularly. They're all age appropriate. They involve families. They're curated around a theme every time. Amy this week visited the Millersville Commission work session that took place on Monday, and there she said that the Millersville participation is growing. I believe she said at 92% rate, which is incredible for our community. She hosts a blessing box there at the library. We have a large population of underserved people, and that's a great asset to our community. For adults, the library is always willing to order new books or get it on loan if there's something that's not available. Amy announced at the Millersville Commission meeting that she's helping with resume building and conducting mock interviews to help our community gain employment. I believe I can speak for many, probably most in town, when I say that we love the library and we love Miss Amy. The library is a jewel in Millersville, and we're very lucky to have this asset. Good libraries don't happen by accident. They don't happen under poor leaders. Good libraries are good libraries because they're intentional and they have good leadership. Amy, you're a blessing to Millersville. We need to protect her at all costs.
All right, next up, Megan Powell.
So my name is Megan Powell, 1098 Library Drive, Phillipsville or Millersville, whatever you want to call it. I am also the president of Library Friends at Millersville. I took over in January. And a little bit of our story, my husband was military. We have an 8-year-old son who is autistic and absolutely loves our library. That is the one place he will walk in by himself and feel right at home. But because he was a military brat, we've been in a lot of libraries. We've been in libraries in Washington, D.C. We've been in the Library of Congress. We've been in libraries in Texas. We've been in most of the libraries in Sumner County. And I can tell you the only one that I've never seen one like Millersville. I jumped in because I'd never seen one like Millersville. The staff that Amy has put together is one of a kind, and they are driven so passionately to make it better. And to see in less than 2 years that we've lived there, we came back 3 years ago, we settled in Millersville 2 years ago. And to see in the 2 years from we would pull in to be the only car in the parking lot to now you can drive by anytime and that parking lot is full. One of the greatest moments that I have had with the library was getting a text from Amy on a Wednesday morning of there are 100 and something people here for our fall break event. Knowing the hard work that Amy had poured into that event, and then to know that in the middle of Millersville, that is Millersville, where 100 and something people who had come not from just Millersville, they came from Goodlettsville, they came from Hendersonville, they came from all over our county for one program because of what Amy has put together. Amy challenges her staff, but she's also great about saying, take it and run with it. And I've got to watch them run with so much that has been a success and has grown. So we are just thankful for her and what she has brought into our community. We always say, her saying is that they are the heart of Millersville. And I and my family, and as you have heard from others here, can testify to that.
Awesome. Thanks, Meg. Great. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you. Next up would be the approval of the October 30th, 2024 minutes. I'm struggling to find them.
Here's an extra.
Oh, I think I gave them all away.
We've got
One for
several.
everybody.
Yeah, there are several.
Those are the ones I, yeah,
Joanne
got,
has
I'm
one.
good. Do you have?
Yeah.
If there are no corrections, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Also moved.
So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is made and seconded to approve the minutes from October 30th, 2024. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Who was the second?
Me.
Erica?
Thank you.
Any abstentions? Motion carries. Minutes are approved. All right, moving to old business. One item under old business, and that's the director evaluation policy. As discussed at the last meeting, I think we all had some concerns surrounding the current process for the director evaluations. We said we would noodle this through, see if we couldn't, if we didn't have any thoughts on improving this process. So we'll go ahead and open that for discussion. Yeah.
I also, I know we were looking at the whole policy. There was another thing that I wanted to address with this, and that is under communication tools, it says the library director self-survey. Self-survey will be given to the library director no later than 30 days prior to the set evaluation date for the
Right.
library director. I move that we move that to like 2 weeks beforehand.
Okay.
It's not a crazy evaluation. So no later than 2 weeks.
14 days?
14 days, yes.
Okay.
14 days.
Yeah, that can cause a pretty lengthy chain
And
reaction in
then
scheduling.
And then the self-survey is to be completed and returned to the chair of the personnel committee no later than, 7 days?
Sure.
7 days prior to the set evaluation. A date for the library director. The chair of the personnel committee will be sure to get the finished self-survey to the personnel committee members before the set evaluation date for the library director.
We'll be sure to. I would just read that.
Sure.
We'll provide the
Okay,
finished.
we'll provide.
Yeah, we'll
Mhm.
provide the
We'll
provide the finished self-survey to the personnel committee members
we'll provide
before the
Mhm.
set evaluation date.
the finished self-survey to the personnel committee members before the set evaluation date for the library director. Okay.
Any other thoughts on communication tools? Okay.
Okay.
Evaluation process?
As I stated in September and at the first personnel committee meeting, I believe this should be conducted one-on-one. And this is where, again, and I'll reiterate, in some of the other evaluation policies, it's generally the chair of that committee or of the board. I think that allows for consistency. However, there's not a lot of counties like ours that have 5 libraries,
Right.
So it could be, as appointed by the chair, or it could be the chair or a person appointed by the chair to conduct it. So, but I believe it should be one-on-one, and those findings brought to the personnel committee to review, and then those findings then brought to the library board.
Right, the library, those
full
findings
library.
come to the personnel committee first, yeah?
Correct.
And then once the evaluation is approved, then it would go before the full library board.
For any deliberation for the final adoption of the evaluation. That's my thoughts.
So just to agree with what I think the one-on-one by the chair of personnel or
Somebody
or
designated by
chosen by.
the chair. So if you can't get around to all of them in a certain amount of time,
Yeah.
then you can just say, you know, can somebody,
Someone from the
someone
personnel.
from the personnel committee do
Right.
that?
Mhm.
And I would like that to start first of the year.
Yeah.
Since we get, and go ahead and get Lawrence in December, as we're gonna work on scheduling that. And do it this way, so they've all been evaluated the same way, and start this in the new year.
Well, if this gets ratified in November, this would be the policy moving forward. I would give Laura the option,
Okay.
you know, if she wants.
doing it either
this,
way.
You know,
So
or
as
or
long
that
as
way.
she has the option
Oh, yeah.
to say,
Yeah.
I want it like everybody else, you know, to look at it fairly. Or if she chooses to have that, then you could designate.
Although,
Or
if-
you could, you know, you could do it now.
If this gets ratified by the full board next week, then there wouldn't be an option. It would be our bylaw. So we wouldn't have, right?
Yeah, I mean, and,
Yeah, we can't pick and choose the application of our bylaws then.
well, our policy is, so, I mean, you know, again, policies ebb and flow, and in my opinion, you know, if it's adopted, then it should go into immediate effect.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts. She just happens to be
Yeah.
the new person that gets the
Yeah.
new thing, such as when we adopted this policy, you know, it didn't have a staff survey, you know what I mean? So
Right.
that's my thoughts is, once it's adopted, it's just adopted. And
Yeah.
she just,
That has to be, if this gets ratified by the full board. And I think it's important to look at why we're here. I think as we see this evaluation process in practice, I'm not sure anybody's really happy with it. So I don't know why we would continue if we chosen to amend that process. So, any other thoughts?
I agree.
Okay, we have a concurrence. All right.
that's my thoughts.
All right. So as we currently have it, looking under communication tools, we'd be changing the survey will be given to the library director no later than 14 days prior, then moving down and return to the chair of the personnel committee no later than 7 days prior to the set evaluation date for the library director. Chair of the personnel committee will then provide the finished self-survey to the personnel committee members before the set evaluation date for that library director. The evaluation process will work like this. The library director evaluation will be conducted by a member of the personnel committee as appointed by the chair. Those findings are then brought to the personnel committee for discussion before approval by the full library board of trustees.
One other thing
Yep.
is, I don't know if we want to put in here that the date is set by the chair or whoever's doing the evaluation.
Okay.
Does that make sense? 'Cause it's
Yes.
not, this would have been the personnel committee setting the date. Now it's going to be the person doing the one-on-one.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that's in the evaluation process.
Yeah, you know, I would say, the evaluation date shall be set by the person appointed to do the one-on-one with the director. You know, that way it's between them two.
Would that need to come between, and is that a new sentence, are you saying a new
What is that?
sentence
Yeah.
between
Under evaluation
personnel
process.
committee
Yeah.
and then completed evaluations? Is it gonna be like right there? Because then it would come to the library board at next regularly.
Established.
That wordage would stay the same, right? It needs to come in between those.
Okay.
It would be in
Yes.
the evaluation
It'd be-
process, not in communication tools. It would
Right.
be in
Yeah,
evaluation
the eval
process.
will be established by the,
So we need a sentence in there after the one-on-one. It has to be presented to the personnel committee and then to the board. Does that need to, or does it go from the one-on-one evaluation? Because the next sentence says it'll be presented to the chair the chair will present it to the library board, completed
right,
evaluation.
I'm not reading any of the printed stuff here, so,
Are you just rewriting it
yeah.
from the,
right.
okay. All right.
And the process would work, the library director evaluation will be conducted by a member of the personnel committee as appointed by the chair. The date of the evaluation will be established by the person appointed by the chair. Those findings are then brought to the personnel committee for discussion before approval by the full library board of trustees.
And do you want to state in there who presents the findings? Or generally, it's just the chair
I would
of
say,
the committee?
yeah, yeah.
Because as we, moving forward, you know, when I'll put a report from personnel committee, report from, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, the chair of the respective committees would likely make the,
sure.
right.
Sounds good to me.
And then if discussion is needed or anything like that.
Yep,
Yeah.
things get opened for discussion at that time.
Mhm.
And there's two opportunities for discussion then, you know, at the personnel committee, to amend or to ask inside to get clarification on things. And then that final eval will be presented, you know, as marked up to the full board.
In your wording of what
Mhm.
you just were saying,
Yes, ma'am.
does it include one-on-one?
Well, it says by a member of the
Okay,
personnel
That's what I
committee.
would just.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Do we need to clarify that it is, that the one-on-one is not a public meeting?
Probably.
Because that way it's, you know, the one-on-one
Because it's not a meeting.
is not, will not be held in public,
Not a public forum.
and
Right.
will not be in a public forum.
Right.
Because it's not violating sunshine law if
If it's one-on-one, it doesn't.
correct.
And then when we bring the findings, that's a public meeting, so they're.
Yeah, because it'll be at the
Yeah.
personnel committee. That's implied.
Well, if it's implied, it's at the I don't think you'd have to say that because if it's implied that the personnel committee is a public meeting, then it's
Correct.
applied, the one-on-one is not. I don't think
It currently doesn't
Yeah.
read one-on-one, so
Yeah.
we'll add that sentence in there.
yeah.
All right. As it reads now, the library director evaluation will be conducted by a member of the personnel committee as appointed by the chair. This shall be a one-on-one meeting. The date of the evaluation will be established by the person appointed by the chair. Those findings will then be brought to the personnel committee for discussion before approval by the full library board of trustees.
Sounds good to me.
We'll type it up, clean it up. All right. That and the communication tools, any other discussions around this? Amendments?
So the other thing is the document storage. The completed library director evaluation shall be kept in the personnel file of the individual library director. The files are kept with the Sumner County personnel records. We don't have an HR anymore.
Mhm.
So we need to, as of right now, I think that it's just gonna have to be with the chair of the library board.
Okay.
Because as of right now, we don't have any place to store these documents. Because at the time, we had an HR,
Okay.
but we don't.
Where are those records stored? Like former records, they've got to be somewhere.
That's
You know.
something that we need to, that as
Well, maybe
I
we
will
need
find
to
out
find
as
out.
chair.
And if
but
they're
it's
still
unlikely.
keeping records, which they
I don't
have
have
to,
any.
you know, I'm sure that they've got a record somewhere that they could go in a file or in their folder.
Well, the good news is, there have been no previous director evaluations, so they're currently stored nowhere.
Very, very
There's-
valid.
So we're not missing any, right? I don't-
Correct.
Yeah.
The files are kept with the Sumner County personnel records. I would just say the completed library director file should be kept in the personnel file of the individual library director, and then just cancel out the files are kept with the Sumner County personnel records, because as of right now, I have no idea where those are at, and if that needs to be changed, we can contact legal before next week. Because again, we don't have a HR department anymore.
So it's something like that, that last sentence be amended to, the files are to be maintained by the chair of the library board?
Or we just take that
Or
out
just-
and just say the completed library evaluation shall be kept in the personnel file, I guess.
The individual library director,
Wherever that is.
wherever that
We
may
need
be
to establish
in the
that.
vast universe.
We need to
Yeah.
establish
Somewhere in
that.
the space-time.
Sure,
continuum.
so with the library, the chair of the library board at this time, and then if we need to amend it, next week we'll amend it.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Okay,
sounds good to me.
all right. So we have 3 amendments on this, anything else?
The library director evaluation policy, we had said, I know that we have so many subjects. Do we want to keep all of these subjects in here?
There were several that didn't really apply.
Yeah, because we were hitting not applicable for a few things.
In this case, I would say we should do this after our last
True.
completed
Sounds good to me.
survey, or
Okay.
last completed assessment, so that,
That
while
way
the
that does stay
process
the same.
might look different, the parameters, the KSAs are
Yes.
evaluated the same.
Okay.
Reevaluate at the top of
Say again?
it. Reevaluate at the top of the year once all of them are.
Right.
done.
Okay.
Make a note here.
So I will, I'll make a motion to adopt the directory evaluation policy as amended and move it to the full library board for a vote for adoption.
Okay. Is there a second?
I second that.
Okay. Motion is made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Perfect. Thank you, good people. All right.
Okay.
We did it, y'all, we did it.
Nice. All right. Moving on to new business. Item A is the director evaluation of Amy Corbett. Amy, come on down. Nailing it. There's no big wheel to spin, no prizes.
I've already been to
I
the
know.
Price is Right. It's
Yeah,
okay.
I think you were
I've had the
misled.
experience.
It's all right. Perfect.
Really? Like really?
Spun the big wheel?
Cool.
No, but I've been there.
That's awesome.
Been to the Price is Right?
I wasn't sure if anybody had these, so I printed out copies of my CV. I don't know how to pass things out.
Okay, here you go.
Thanks, Amy.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Right, so we've done this for 3 other directors at this point. So I hopefully seeing how this goes, and yeah. So we'll open it up for questions. Anything you'd like to say to start us off?
I think I can answer all the questions.
All right, awesome. Well, the first question that I've asked everybody else, and I will now ask you, so there should be no surprises. Tell me about the goals you've set for this year and your process and progress and accomplishing those.
I got you.
Nailed it. Awesome.
I'm a visual learner, and so I just assume everybody else is a visual learner, so I hand out visual aids.
Yes.
That is one of the benefits of
being the
number
third,
four.
or fourth.
Right.
helps.
Yeah, number four.
No surprise. All right, tell us about this, Amy.
Okay, so I have worked in corporate America and I've worked in nonprofit America. That's how I kind of differentiate in my brain.
Okay.
And how we measure and value goals and metrics are very different. Because for a library, we're not worried about parts that we have sold. And so what we track is probably a little different. Well, I know it's very different than what we tracked when I was in a for-profit environment. So I picked out the 4 trackable units that we use in the library to determine our goals, which we hope are always reasonable and achievable.
There we go. Yeah.
So library cards added. So in the top left, you can see this is fiscal year 21-22, so that's the year before I started. The growth of the library cards added. Fiscal year 22-23, I started October of 22. So after the first quarter, I was there. And then last fiscal year, the increase in library cards, and then I gave the first quarter increase, and so that gives us a really good look at where we'll be getting to for this entire fiscal year. In the bottom left-hand corner is the actual numbers of library cards added per year. I try to keep everything color-coded because it makes my brain happy. And then are the really hopefully achievable goals are on the right bottom corner, and we're hoping for a 6% increase of library cards added this year, and then we're hoping for an 8% increase in library cards added next year. And we do it all by fiscal year because it's too complicated to keep up with too many different years. And then one of the other things that we track for our metrics is the circulation of the collection. Is it relevant? Is it being used? It's not always good to have books if it's not being used. So you can see again, it's the same layout as the last layout. I would like to point out that December 25th, 2022, the library had a pipe burst and we flooded, and we were closed for a month. So we reopened January 25th of 23, and so that explains why the growth of our circulation was a little bit lower than we had anticipated.
Sure.
It did take a few more months for people to start coming back regularly. And then our goals.
Great.
Please don't ask me to explain the math because percentage math is...
Duly noted. Maybe you have a book on percentage math.
I have a great team that's really good at math.
Perfect. There you go. Smart.
And then one of the biggest metrics that we check out is library visitors, people coming to the library. This includes, again, the same. I tried to show the before I got there, the one I started to today, because it just felt the most cohesive. We're just growing. I added our population of the city of Millersville versus the 22 census, so you can see that last year we had 11,593 people visit our library. The population of Millersville is 6,299.
Was that one person that just visited 11,000 times?
Yeah, it was me.
That's great. Right. Count yourself clicking in every time, right?
I wish.
No,
I
that's
had
great.
thought about that.
Yeah, right.
That would make my numbers look really
Right?
good.
Yeah, you're welcome. Next level.
Thanks, I like
Sure.
it. I'm gonna take note
All
of
right.
that.
Yeah.
And then our program attendance. As you've heard, this is something that we have been working and striving to increase because it's something that people have told us they want. And I feel that we've achieved that. Well, for our goal, and then we're working on bigger and better.
Yeah. Awesome. It's great. It's fantastic. Yeah. Quick, and I'm genuinely just curious. Do we have an idea of, because I know it's visitors, it's twice the population of Millersville. Do we have an idea of the population you serve?
So the
or-
service area is, I wrote it down, so I have to remember.
Awesome.
It's on the page, it's 12,000. It might be a little bit higher than that, but from the paperwork I could find, the service population of Millersville set by the library board was
Right.
12,000.
Totally get that. I'm sorry. I think what I mean is, I guess there's really no way to know. If we are, so using that number, against the number of people who've come in, that would be somewhere, 95% of everybody in Millersville has come in, and that's probably not the case, but do we know how many?
So I know that we have patrons that come and visit us from Greenbrier and Ridgetop because we're the
Yeah.
closest library
Yeah,
to them, and
sure.
they're Robertson County. So they're not counted in this, and the other
yeah,
half of
okay.
Millersville isn't counted in these numbers because these are Sumner County numbers.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then we have people come up from Goodlettsville, we have people come down from White House because when they have programs, we're not, and vice versa, and
Yeah.
then we're open a day, then they're closed.
Part of White House
And
is in
part of-
Robertson County.
And part of White House is in
Yeah,
Robertson
right.
County. So these were the best numbers that I could come up
No,
with.
awesome.
That
I
I
like
could
it.
justify what they were.
No, awesome, thanks, Amy.
And I do have a question
Yeah.
here quickly on the library cards added. I could be reading this wrong. It says 5.5% were added,
An increase from the prior fiscal year.
and so is it 152 were added? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay, all right, got it. Thank you.
Any other questions so far? One. Bless you. All right, we'll turn your attention now, gang, to the evaluation proper. It's going to be page 2. Everybody's got Amy's staff survey, right? All right.
So,
Yeah, the self-rating. So again, just definition of rating terms: 5 is an outstanding, 4 highly effective, 3 effective, 2 needs improvement, 1 unacceptable, needs substantial improvement, or 0 or non-applicable to this situation. So with that, and I'll just remind everybody that on page 3 at the top, there is a line item continuing on preparing and managing the budget. We're getting better at it too. The
Right.
4th one, right? Perfect. Open to discussion, thoughts?
As far as the budget, I don't see any problems with, to my knowledge, she hasn't had any problems. Everything's been covered, and I don't think there's been any really lasting things.
Okay.
Yep.
Any objections to 5s?
That's great.
All right, professional awareness. Well, I don't want to read all those. We have all those in front of us. We'll take a second to go over those.
Are we managing staff?
Oh, did I miss that? I did.
Yes,
Look at
you
me.
did.
Rushing right ahead. Managing the staff. You have those in front of you. Amy, by all means, do you have any comments on managing the staff? Anything you'd like to add in there?
We have a fantastic group, and I love the people I get to work with because we all have the same goal.
Okay.
I'm going to say I'm a little partial. I am from Millersville, and I get to see them often, but I love the staff. We have a wonderful staff.
Have you had to hire anybody in this last year?
I have.
Okay.
I have.
And how'd that go for you?
I feel very well.
Great. All right. Smooth process for you? Think you got a process that works well?
Hiring is never a smooth process.
Okay.
But I use the guidelines set out by the board, and we do interviews and staff meet, and I feel that it goes as smoothly as possible when it can.
Okay. All right.
Have you had to terminate anybody this year?
I have accepted someone's resignation effective immediately.
Okay, so there wasn't a termination.
There is an acceptance of a resignation immediately, yes.
Resignation. How'd that go for you?
I mean, I notified the staff member, filled out the paperwork, and did the best that I could.
Okay. I mean, any challenges on your side or their side?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Not a trick question. I'm asking you, were there any issues on your end? You would know, I would not.
I received a 2 weeks notice, and I accepted it immediately. And
Okay, so they gave 2 weeks notice, but you said, how about we just,
There were a lot of.
Part today.
There were going to be some scheduling conflicts coming up, and
Gotcha.
it was the process
Okay.
needed to.
yeah, so made a
Move
judgment
along.
call to make it immediate?
Yes.
Okay. Ideas of scores, anything?
Nothing
discussion?
jumped out, but
Are there any grievances that have been filed with you?
None that I'm aware of.
so we can put a non-NA there.
Mhm.
Okay.
Where's that one?
Is that the second one?
Uh-huh.
How does your training go? The new employee, how'd that go?
I think trainings are fun. We have a handbook that we work through. We've got a checklist of everything we do. And then, so for example, our children's librarian takes over and goes and explains the children's department. I say I love training because I learn new things and then I get to make the training handbook better and better and better. And you know, I want to do the best I can with the people that I get to work with.
Entertain scores?
I'm fine with 5s all the way through.
Okay.
Well, I did notice on your self-evaluation, was better communication or something.
Oh, thank you. I noticed that too with the staff somewhere. Apologize.
I would like to adopt a more holistic approach to leadership development by prioritizing training and management.
It's
Is that
the
where it
second
is?
question, yeah. I was just showing you where it was.
And I noticed you put a 4 is clear on personnel decisions. And I would think, would that be under communicate with library personnel as appropriate, or?
It's hard to say.
Was clear on personnel decisions, so,
Maybe we do a 4 on the first one, the clear and well communicated management. That way,
Mhm.
gives her room to grow since she
Yeah, sure.
already sees that room to
Okay.
grow.
I'd be good with that.
A rating of effective for that, or highly effective?
Mm.
Okay.
And then the rest is.
This is 5s. Any other comments on managing the staff before we move on? All right. Professional awareness, one of the lengthier sections rather.
Prepares reports and compiles statistical data as needed. We have that in our
Give you a
hands
6
right
on
now.
I make a pretty spreadsheet.
You really do.
I appreciate it.
I've always enjoyed,
Yeah.
I'm a visual learner as well.
So in order to do that, you know how to operate. You're good with technology. So that's, your technology awareness or advances are shown right there too.
Implement and monitor library procedures and policies developed by the library board. As you know, we had a collection and development policy that was implemented last year. And I do know that Eric and I had visited you and you had signs up for permission slips for going into the adult section. And you know, we had expressed that that really isn't the policy that we had created. Have you since then taken down those signs?
Yes, we don't have any signs about that.
Okay, and so you had stated in an email that you were going to keep it at the front desk. Has that been taken down?
Yes, we have finally finished the full evaluation of the collection.
Okay, great.
So what's your recommendation there?
I would say a 4.
thoughts? Okay. Any others we want to pull out? Say again.
5s everywhere else.
I was going to ask the same. Like, anybody else have anything else they want to pull out?
I think we're good.
Okay, great.
I do want to say, just in a positive note, that is precise and concise with reports at the library board meetings. Since we have had to put the timing on there, unfortunately, I think that you've done a really great job of really well, first of all, your visuals are great. It does help us see, but you highlight it really well, and it lets us celebrate those things with you. So I appreciate how you have worked with that.
I practice with the timer before I come, so
Oh,
I can try to get it all in.
Well, we appreciate it. We appreciate you sharing the good news
Yes.
and the,
Yeah.
and the reports. So thank you, thank you.
Awesome.
I know not everyone is super psyched about that, but it really does help us
It
focus
is
on
what it
what's...
is, so we're just gonna work within those parameters. Keep on going.
4, collection development. I think the first line item might be a 4, reflecting the previous
Yep.
comment.
I do have a question, is that implementing that collection development policy, did you find any hurdles? Were there any obstacles, or how was that implemented and how's it going?
We did the best implementing with your collection development policy with the limited guidance that we were provided.
And so when you say limited, what do you feel was so limited?
There weren't any instructions on how we were supposed to do it. This needs to be done, but there weren't any instructions on, okay, well, we're going to give you 30 days to review the collection, or if you have, if you aren't sure if your height requirements, there wasn't any practical assistance that I felt.
And feeling there wasn't practical assistance, because I do believe that is actually in the collection development policy, because the state law actually is very detailed on that. Is there a reason why you didn't reach out to us with questions?
I reached out to the library board as when I did have questions, yes.
Okay. And what questions were those?
I don't think I had any. It just took us a while.
Okay, so you didn't have questions.
If I had questions, I would have reached out to the library board.
Okay. And I just, in you saying that you didn't have good guidance, I would think that if you didn't have good guidance, you would reach in, because we'd said that we would be available for any questions. So, but you just didn't feel that you needed to reach out, even though you were unclear?
I figured it out. Yes, thank you.
Well, and I mean, just to say on that note, on a personal note, I stop in pretty often. I stopped in officially and checked in with you. I asked if you had any questions. Everything was going smoothly any time that I checked in with you about that. And even talking to the person, your collections person that was going through a lot of that, and talked with her about that too. Everything seemed to be going smoothly. So, I mean, I'm glad you figured it out. And we did make ourselves personally available. So I'm sorry to hear that there's a way you're wording that. I just want to make sure you know that we are here for you, and we've asked how we could support.
There was some extenuating circumstances that weren't, the timing was really poorly, and so as soon as we were able to get everything taken care of, we did.
You took some leave. Got it. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. So yes, I hear that too.
And I know that you and I both asked and everything, so, yeah.
Which, on that note, we're always here for you.
Yeah.
We're always here.
I have everybody's number.
You do. Okay, good. So,
Other scores on collection development?
Have you had any challenges?
No.
No challenges?
I think the only comment that I would put in there is that, you know, she had stated that she felt that the policy was not clear, yet didn't reach out with any questions from the library board.
Okay, so maybe Director handles challenges in a timely manner. I mean, if we weren't getting feedback and they needed help, that challenge, would that be effective or?
Well, is that book challenges or any challenge?
I
Is that like?
apologize. Well, as she
Okay,
had
collection.
stated, she
Collection
felt that the collection development policy wasn't clear, yet, you know, with limited, and yet she didn't reach out with any questions when we asked her how it was going, but now it's stating as though it was a challenge. You know, even with the library board checking in and asking if she had any questions. So I would maybe put in there that asking the library board for support when unclear might be a challenge for her. Does that make sense?
But that, maybe the comment is we encourage Amy to use the library board as a resource when unclear, you know, keep the dialogue open. Not mind readers, obviously.
Correct.
Though I played one once. You know, in helping you, you know,
Yeah.
achieve the goals that, you know, that you establish for your library and the policies that, you know, we pass.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yep.
So how are we scoring these?
Yeah, how
For the
was,
second one, what is that score?
I would put 3 under that one, just because it's a year later and we didn't know that there was challenges.
Okay.
So I put a 3.
all right.
We
Still,
haven't had, I'm sorry, I'm confused. Could you clarify that? We haven't had any book challenges.
I think
Yeah,
we're
this
talking
is
2 different types
collection
of challenges.
development, Yeah.
I
This is
don't know that we're
collection
talking about
development.
book challenges with the collection development policy.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, still effective? A rating of effective, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
She figured it out.
Any
Yeah.
objections, concerns to that? Okay. The remainder, under collection development, 5s?
I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
Implementation of board decisions, section 5, implemented in a timely basis.
I would say 3 with that one.
Okay.
As in the collection development.
Director displays initiative.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Objective in making necessary decisions. Consistent in decisions that affect the staff and or the public. Implements board decisions. Let's say under implements board decisions, highly effective. Sets an example for the staff through professional conduct, high principles, and a business-like approach.
Mm-hmm.
Any reason to not have a 5 there? All right, use of the library.
Actually, I do want to say, I do think you display a lot of initiative, and that is something that I see that you do very well.
Great. Awesome. Use of the library, services to the public, communicates those services to the public. Proper realistic balance is maintained between promotion of services and budget constraints, circulation trends, information about new services, prepares news releases, notices library publications, responds to public inquiries and complaints. Have you had any public inquiries or complaints? No?
Okay.
Okay.
Put it in
That
A.
thing.
Which one is the NA?
That's the last one,
The last
under
one,
box 6.
Mm-hmm.
So 5's down.
Yeah, I would. Kami is crushing that. Development of staff, this is one that also continues on to page 7.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything needs to be pulled out there?
Do you have a succession plan in place?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Everything feel good there?
Okay.
Okay.
All right. staff are aware of the separation, utilization of staff. I don't have to read it. You guys can read. Any issues? Anything to pull out? Jackie?
No, nothing.
I think
She has done her peak hour, as evidenced in our email. She's done a peak hour survey and is working very hard to, you know, meet the needs of the patrons.
Great.
And
Awesome.
the staff.
All right.
You know, and of course your staff has to be on board to do this too, so.
Okay. Community development?
See any problems there?
No. Nice job. Obviously,
Yes.
Amy, you're well
And
Obviously,
loved and
yeah.
appreciated.
so thrilled also as a Millersville person, I'm sorry, but also on the board, to see how you have been able to develop that relationship between the community center and you guys. And I love the convenience of, with them being just across the street. It is such a cool, partnership.
Yeah.
Thank you. I can't find the word. Yes. And, and I think it's so neat that y'all get to highlight each other too. And, but yeah, so all under that.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And even just finding needs of the community that need to be met, like food. I love that so
Mhm.
much, so thank you.
And I have a curiosity question. How do you source that? Just out of curiosity.
Donations.
So is it just the patrons just know about it and they bring it? Do you have a group that you do?
Patrons do bring stuff.
Mhm.
I supply things. We put out calls on our Facebook page
Mhm.
when we put a call out the other day because we don't have any we don't have anything,
Mhm.
and it's all community driven. I am working with the church across the street that
Mhm.
uses the community center on
Mhm.
Sundays. I'm working to establish a partnership with them.
Yeah.
But we're just doing the best we can.
Okay. And is that saying, I mean, like, do you have a huge need for that? Because as a person of the community, can always,
It's difficult to keep full.
okay. No, I'm glad to know that so I can help with that. Okay.
Great. All right. Section 10, activity in professional organizations. Communicates and participates in professional organizations as appropriate. I know you did the Red River training,
Mhm.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
The piano.
Are you is it May? Are you going to be
Graduate.
completing that? Well,
Mhm.
good. Yay.
Awesome.
Congrats. It's a lot of work. Thank you.
All right. Section 11, policy recommendations to the board.
Those are NA.
I was gonna-
Yeah.
Those are
Going to be my
NA.
question, unless Amy had any other
Oh.
thoughts. Amy, is that accurate? NAs?
Feel so.
Okay. 12, Friends of the Library.
Sorry.
There's a one typo up there.
Good relationship with your
Friends group
Well,
is
we
that
had to,
explanation.
yeah, the
Yeah,
president
that's
of
it.
Friends is here, so.
That
think-
one in Dented one is,
Mhm.
on page 9 is an NA, but the rest of
Director
them.
updates the library board about
No.
the
Friends,
fourth one.
The one
Friends
prior.
group has,
Yeah.
is the one that's
Yeah.
oddly indented.
Okay. Otherwise, we're 5s?
I think so.
Okay. 13, Maintenance and construction of the physical library. Sounds like everybody loves the way Millersville
I
looks.
don't think there's any new or remodeled facilities. We haven't had any new remodeled facilities
We have future.
constructed.
Well,
We're getting
We
there.
have future
Yeah.
desires.
I know,
Future.
but we haven't in the last year, correct?
Not in the past year. No.
Correct, yeah, so that would be an NA.
All right. Leave that one.
So the next time.
So those are 2 NAs.
So, yeah, 2 NAs.
What's the other one?
The one right above it. So numbers
Um,
3 and 4.
Ongoing program that
Numbers 3 and 4.
So
Under
third and the fourth
13.
one.
Fourth
Yeah, new
Okay.
and
on
remodeled facilities
13.
are functioning appropriately
Yeah,
and aesthetically
13.
pleasing.
You're
Okay.
spinning.
That's-
I'm sorry.
Okay. Nothing else? Those should all be
And fives
fine.
on everything
Yeah.
else.
Mhm.
14, home stretch, establishing priorities.
I think she.
The community needs you nailed.
Yes.
Mhm.
And advanced planning.
Yes.
Really great at advanced planning.
And we've got a page, short and learn, you know, the goals, the short and learn, and,
Yeah, NNA would be, because we haven't really went over the short and long-term planning with her.
okay.
We actually should be doing that on a yearly basis, so, but to my knowledge, we haven't gone over her with that. I know that when I came and did budget with you, you talked about a construction plan, but, we didn't really get into short and long-term.
I
planning.
received the capital funds and we're gonna start construction mid-November.
Yes.
That's right,
And,
because you were the one that,
Mhm.
Did the.
got the,
Yeah.
Stood on a chair.
Yeah, Mhm, right.
Yes. Okay. Anything otherwise, those are,
Okay.
those are fine?
So number 4 would be an
Mhm.
NA.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
And that's just because we didn't establish that with you,
Yeah.
so we can't you can't accomplish something we haven't established. So
So-
that's on us. So
Plans are updated to
Alright.
continuous basis to reflect changing
Directors.
Yeah, I got it. Okay.
Okay.
Heading to section 15.
I don't see any problems there at all.
Okay. Thanks, Trina. Anybody else?
I think you do
Okay.
great.
All right.
I'm actually interested in seeing your book. I want to see what you do when you get to turn. I want to see your book. I'm just curious.
Amy, the last section I'm going to give you is the signature page. We'll type it up and make it
Are
look
there any
pretty.
comments that we need to?
All right. Yeah, we'll open up for any comments as well.
Yep. I think the comment is mainly on ones and twos for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
have to.
Yep.
And we just made a few little notations throughout the.
Yep.
So at the end,
Great. Thanks.
We're in November now.
It's
Yes.
hard to think that,
6 days
yes.
into November,
I
which
can't
is
believe
really,
it.
Thanks, Amy. Please,
Yeah.
I'll speak for the Personnel Committee. Thank you, thank your staff for being good stewards of, the library and obviously for loving on the community that clearly loves you back. So, thanks. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. So I'll make a motion to accept the personnel evaluation of Amy Corbett as is and to move on to the library board for full adoption.
Okay,
I'll second.
Jackie?
Jackie seconded.
Mhm.
Motion made and seconded to accept the evaluation of Director Amy Corbett and send it on to the full board for approval. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Great, motion carries. Perfect.
Thank you
Thanks
so much,
Amy.
Amy.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right. Next up, we have one item, second item of new business, and that's scheduling of the director evaluation for Lauren Rippey of Westmoreland.
I would like to know, Kaylee, if you're available.
I'm available.
I already asked her. I asked her.
Perfect.
All right.
So that will be
They hit me up
December,
before the meeting. Okay.
December 11th at 4:30?
At 4:30?
Yeah. Because we had Lauren here, so it
12,
was really, so 12:11
at
at
4:30.
4:30.
4:30?
We were able to ask Lauren.
Yeah, Lauren was here too. Yeah,
Yes.
it's all on video, so it's all above board, so it's great.
Yes.
Fantastic. And that will take us to Kaylee's favorite part of the meeting.
I gotta go, y'all. I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Is there a
I'll second it.
The motion is made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Meeting adjourned. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank you
guys
so
for
much.
coming.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
And it's nice to meet some of you Millersville friends.